One of the biggest things stopping you from true success and well-being is oftentimes you, because we are the ones who hold ourselves back the most, and it's called self-sabotage. Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Jillz, and I talk about things like feminine energy, self-improvement, and wellness for women. So if that's something you want to learn more about, definitely hit that red subscribe button below, as well as the notification bell so you don't miss when I put out any new videos. Self-sabotage is something we all inherently do to some extent throughout our lives, but I think really understanding what it is, why it happens, and then consequently what to do about it and how to stop is an incredibly valuable thing for anyone. So self-sabotage, whether it's conscious or unconscious, is when we deliberately hinder our own well-being and success. But the thing that's important to realize is that at the end of the day, it is a protective mechanism. It's a way that our brain and our nervous system react in an attempt to keep us safe. Its intention is not to hurt us. Its intention is to prevent us from getting hurt. Because here's the thing, our brain and our nervous system, it thrives off of familiarity. It loves to know what to expect. It loves the comfort of consistency, even if what you're consistently experiencing isn't a very positive thing. One of the best books on this is The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. It's a really powerful read, very concise and easy to grasp. I'll link it down below for you guys. But in this book, she says, we are programmed to seek what we've known. Even though we think we're after happiness, we're actually trying to find whatever we're most used to. The best way to describe it is that we all have an energetic range of what we deem as comfortable and normal in different areas of our life. So for example, we all have our own energetic range for our own happiness levels. We all have an energetic range for money. We all have an energetic range for most of the things that we experience in our life. Meaning that if we go outside of that range, whether it's in the negative direction, definitely in the negative direction, but even if it's in the positive direction, we feel uncomfortable because it's different, it's new, we're not used to it, it's a change. But becoming the person you want to be will mean letting go of a lot of who you are now. Think about the girl who always seems to have some sort of drama or chaos in her life. Now, of course, this is just a total generalization for example purposes, but she has likely become comfortable with the feeling of chaos. Maybe she grew up in a chaotic household or some other source of chaotic environment. And so that chaos became normal to her. It became familiar to her, and to some extent, the chaos actually comforts her. And at a logical level, I know that seems totally crazy, but to the nervous system, that's all it knows. It knows how to respond to chaos. It knows how to live in chaos. And we essentially hold ourselves back from living our most fulfilling life because we get stuck in this energetic range of what we're used to. Or maybe you've experienced this for yourself where things are just starting to go right. Things are going good and you're feeling happy, but also not totally happy at the same time. There's like this unnerving, awkward discomfort. And so maybe you pull the rug on something or do something to make things not as good anymore. And so it essentially pulls your happiness down a few pegs because that is what you've known. And these can even be seen with the little moments of your day too, like choosing to scroll on social media instead of working towards that thing that you want. Because scrolling in bed is a lot more comfortable than putting in the work and the effort to achieve what you want. Not to mention the chance of potential failure or criticism. But just because something is uncomfortable, it doesn't mean that it's bad or unsafe. And short-term comfort usually does not lead to long-term satisfaction. These energetic ranges are, again, what give our brain and our nervous system comfort and predictability, but we can actually change these. And when you can understand the root of where a lot of this self-sabotage comes from, you don't have to let it take you over. So if you don't want to let this unhelpful self-sabotage control your life, you have to start becoming more aware and more observant. You know, be curious. So often we just run our life in autopilot, but it's this lack of curiosity and the lack of reflection that keeps us stuck and keeps us from reaching our fullest potential. When you feel moments like this come up, moments where you feel like you might be hindering your own growth, notice the resistance that's there and just feel it and feel into it. Ask yourself, is this coming from a place of unfamiliarity and fear? Is this something that's just new to me, something that I'm not used to yet? Because again, remember, and this is probably something that you're going to have to remind yourself of quite often, that not everything that's uncomfortable or unfamiliar is unsafe. Then ask yourself, what would my highest self do? What would my future best self do? Just because there's some resistance there, or just because you're experiencing a little bit of discomfort, it doesn't mean you have to fall victim to that. Becoming aware and observant and clear on the purpose of the self-sabotage is one of the biggest things you can do to to start moving past it. And I think it's really important to give yourself grace in this moment too, and stop and see the beauty in what your nervous system is trying to do, trying to keep you safe. Even though its guidance might not always be in your highest good, you can still have a lot of love and appreciation for those efforts. Don't think about this resistance and self-sabotage as a negative thing, you know, getting angry and mad at yourself for it. Have compassion and gratitude for yourself and your brain and your nervous system for trying to keep you safe, because that is a beautiful thing. Another way that will eventually help you to get out of your own way and stop self-sabotaging is to get yourself to face small discomforts or small positive changes every day. And this is for two big reasons. So one, it's important to get yourself comfortable with feeling a little bit uncomfortable, because growth is not usually entirely comfortable. And if we become too attached to who we are and our current life, then we'll never get to where we want to be. And building this tolerance is like a muscle. The more we do it, the easier it becomes. And when you start doing these little discomforts every day, you know, when you go to that event alone, even though you're nervous because you know nobody, when you meditate for 5 minutes in the morning, even though you resist it, when you start putting yourself out there more, you start getting more comfortable with healthy discomfort. And two, making these small changes every day can help you to reset or move your energetic range in the direction you want it to. Because remember, this energetic range is where you are comfortable. It's where your nervous system wants you to fall into because it's safe, it's familiar, but that doesn't mean that it can't change. Through small but consistent little positive actions, you can start pushing the edges of what you deem to be your energetic range, and you can start shifting what you see as normal and possible for you. This is not a change that will happen overnight, of course, but when you consistently work towards slightly pushing those boundaries of what you know, just gently letting yourself get a bit more uncomfortable, avoiding habits that keep you stuck, then your energetic range will start to positively shift over time. For example, when you're really happy from something in your life, when something good happens, when you're just like super happy, we normally feel that happiness and that joy for like an hour or a day or maybe a week, and then our happiness drops back down again to our normal energetic range. But next time, try to feel that happiness for just a little bit longer. And then the next time that happens, try to feel it for a little bit longer, a little bit more intense, a little bit stronger. And over time, over many times of doing this, your energetic range for happiness and experiencing happiness will start to shift. When you gently try to push the bounds of what you know, then you start to open yourself up to a new energetic range that can lead to more growth, more happiness, and more fulfillment. Another way we can get more comfortable with this new energetic range is by visualizing it and acclimating our brain and our body to this new dynamic. Basically, we can get more comfortable with the idea of something by just familiarizing it to ourselves in our mind. And this actually works. So let's say you want to move your energetic range for how much money you believe you can make in your business. If you consistently visualize that next level, if you feel it, if you really embody it and start to get comfortable with it, then your nervous system will start to become, over time, more and more familiar with it. So things like visualization, affirmations, journaling, meditation, just talking to yourself out loud about something. Honestly, whatever resonates with you most, I prefer visualization. But by doing these things and doing them consistently and intentionally, you can start to reset your energetic range. So I talk a lot on here about how important it is to feel your emotions and honor your feelings and not just suppress them. And that's a big part of tapping into your feminine energy. But that doesn't mean your feelings are always truth. It might not be the best idea to act on them. Honoring your feelings is different from acting on feelings. And I also talk a lot about connecting to your intuition, but your feelings and your intuition are different. Your intuition will push you to do things you're uncomfortable with because you know it's the right direction. Your feelings are more moment to moment. Your intuition will encourage you to take that short-term sacrifice and that short-term discomfort for long-term highest good. Your feelings are based more off of comfort and familiarity. Sometimes when we self-sabotage, it's because we let our feelings take over and we're too scared to hear our intuition. Just a reminder though that not all resistance is bad. Not all resistance is self-sabotage that you need to push past. Yes, we often do face resistance in the midst of self-sabotage, but sometimes resistance is a signal that you need to slow down and realign. Sometimes it's a sign from your intuition saying, hey, I don't know if this is right. For example, maybe you face a lot of resistance at your job, you procrastinate, etc. But maybe that's because deep down you want to be a writer, or you want to start your own business. Or maybe because it's the job your parents wanted you to do, not what you wanted. Or maybe you're facing a lot of resistance to taking your relationship to the next level, like moving in together or getting engaged. Yes, it could just be because it's a new thing to you, it's uncomfortable to you, you don't know what to expect. But it could also be a way that you are speaking to yourself, saying, this isn't a good idea, I'm not sure about this, I don't know if this partner is right for me. But the thing is that you are the only person who can answer this for yourself. You know more than anyone, you know best, and you have to start trusting yourself. Just remember that sometimes your resistance is your higher self speaking to you, and that's why it's so important to stay observant, stay curious, and stay loving. If you thought this video was helpful for you, be sure to give it a like, share it with a friend, and comment down below what is one of the biggest ways that you self-sabotage in your life, because we all do it at some point. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you next time. Bye!